Over the past few months, I have gradually replaced the surveillance cameras monitoring the house. I swapped them out. I replaced the Hikvision and TrendNet cameras, which each only have a resolution of 2 MP, with Reolink models featuring 4K and 8 MP. Currently, the Reolink cameras store the surveillance videos on SD cards, which are built directly into the cameras. Additionally, I store the videos on my QNAP, which is sitting back here in the corner. It's a QNAP 251 Plus with 2 hard drives. Unfortunately, the QNAP is no longer able to process the videos from the new cameras with the high resolution. The data is being saved. However, retrieving the video recordings takes far too long. The QNAP's CPU performance is maxed out. I needed a new solution. The solution is called NVR, Network Video Recorder. Of course, the new NVR should come from the same manufacturer as the cameras. I chose a model from Reolink. The RLN 36 is a network video recorder and is designed exclusively to continuously, 24/7, record the camera streams, the video footage from the surveillance cameras, or only to save the alarm recordings. Today, I will install a new hard drive in this device. I will connect it and set it up. I'll take you along with me as I do this, providing a detailed walkthrough of the entire process. The specific NVR model I am currently using is a robust system with an impressive connection capacity, allowing for a grand total of 36 cameras to be integrated simultaneously, so that I can record and store. I've pulled up the model for you here on Amazon. By the way, you can find the links to the products I'm using here down in the video description. This model can handle 12 megabytes per camera and a total of 36 streams. That's a lot. In this NVR, which is sold without a hard drive, you can install up to 3 hard drives in total. The storage capacity is a maximum of 6 TB per hard drive. However, from the comments and FAQ on Amazon, it appears that the NVR can also handle larger capacities up to 16 TB. There is also an NVR model for 16 cameras and one for 8 cameras. In these models, the hard drive is usually already installed. Curiously, however, these particular models are significantly more expensive than the RLN 36 and a separate dedicated hard drive. I personally spent approximately €239 for this specific model, which was quite an investment. On top of that, you have to add the cost of the hard drive. I went with the model from Western Digital, the purple variant, the violet version specifically. These hard drives are specially designed for 24/7 video recording. This 40-byte model cost just under €100. All in all, the entire system ultimately cost me a grand total of around €340 to €350. The network video recorder, which is a crucial component, features a very simple and clean design on its front panel. It looks like an old CD or DVD player. On the back, there are various ports. I'll show you the ports in detail later. It's important to know that the network ports on the NVR are power capable. This means you don't have to supply your cameras with an additional power cable. The recorder and the wiring of my surveillance system are able to supply power to the cameras through the regular network cable and at the same time process the video signal. Before I set up and install the NVR, I'll show you what's included in the package. I'll show you how to install and connect this hard drive, which I bought separately, into the NVR. The contents of the RLN 36 NVR package are quite comprehensive. This includes the device itself, which is delivered exceptionally well packaged to ensure its pristine condition upon arrival. Additionally, for seamless connectivity, there's a high-quality HDMI cable provided, allowing for immediate setup and display. Furthermore, a detailed and easy-to-understand user manual is included, offering clear instructions and guidance for installation and operation, ensuring a smooth user experience, which is written in several languages. There is an EU declaration of conformity included. This is the additional installation box, which is quite comprehensive and thoughtfully designed, containing the following essential components. Specifically, there are 3 distinct packs of high-quality screws, meticulously organized and provided to securely mount the various hard drives within the robust interior of the case. Furthermore, within this very same box, you will find a complete set of specialized connector plugs, which are absolutely crucial and specifically engineered so you can effortlessly and reliably connect the alarm inputs and the corresponding alarm outputs on the rear panel of the main unit, ensuring a fully integrated and functional security system. NVR, directly via a plug connection. There are two different cables for power supply. First, there's the Schuko plug, which is the one relevant for me. The pins are additionally protected with a plastic cap. I haven't seen that before either. There's also this particular cable right here. Presumably it's the English system with 3 pins. I won't be needing that. This is the transformer, a crucial electrical component which is directly and securely connected to the primary device on one side, facilitating the essential transfer of electrical energy and ensuring proper power delivery to the connected equipment. And on the other side, the power supply comes from the wall socket. Additionally, there's a network cable and a USB mouse. I can already reveal this crucial detail. The initial setup process, which is absolutely essential for getting started, can exclusively and only be performed with the specific use of this particular mouse. It's not possible to connect the NVR to the network and install it via an app on your smartphone or your personal computer device. The initial setup must be done directly on the device using this mouse. For this, a monitor must also be connected directly to the NVR. I'm curious to see if that really works well. On the rear panel of this sophisticated device, you will find a comprehensive array of essential ports and connections. Specifically, there is a distinct and easily accessible separate on-off switch, designed for convenient power control. Furthermore, a crucial grounding connection is provided, allowing you to securely attach the necessary cable for potential equalization, which is an important safety measure to implement if the specific operational requirements or environmental conditions necessitate it. The 12-volt connection that comes from the transformer, the HDMI port to connect the monitor directly to the NVR. There's also a VGA port installed, so I can also connect an older monitor. There are dedicated audio in and audio out RCA connectors and a total of 2 convenient USB ports. This is the essential LAN network port. Once the cameras are set up, I can control all of them over the network and manage them. I don't necessarily have to work directly on this device later on. That means for me, I will install this NVR and integrate the cameras. Afterwards, the device will disappear somewhere in my server cabinet. The device also has 4 network ports for the cameras. Additionally, on the back here are the ports where the alarm sensors can be connected using these connectors, which I just unpacked directly to the device. What I find interesting is the design. I like it exceptionally well. There's another convenient USB port located on the front. That particular component looks like an infrared receiver. Here you'll find the power LED and the HDD activity LED. On the other side, there's a small intuitive menu with a clear cursor to easily navigate the menu. That's pretty much it. The device is made of metal. It's well and cleanly manufactured. On the underside, there are several holes where the hard drive can later be screwed in place. I'm going to open the device now to install the hard drive. To open the device, you have to loosen the screws on the side, on the back, and on the other side. After that, I can open the case. I simply do this with a screwdriver. This is precisely what the internal layout of the RLN 36 NVR system looks like when opened up. Upon inspection, you'll find that there's nothing particularly out of the ordinary or unexpected within its design. What you see here is the main circuit board, which serves as the central component. This board is equipped with a total of 3 distinct connection points, specifically designed for the integration of hard drives. The various cables within this system are somewhat twisted together, creating a slight disarray. The rest of the interior primarily consists of a dedicated connector specifically designed for the front-facing USB ports, ensuring convenient external connectivity. Furthermore, there is a crucial ribbon cable present, which serves the vital function of connecting to and controlling the unit located on the front panel. Lastly, for the essential power supply to the hard drives, there are 3 distinct and robust connectors provided, allowing for multiple storage devices to be powered simultaneously and reliably. These are these cables. Additionally, here are the data cables for the hard drives. There are 3 of those as well, providing additional functionality. There are 2 cooling fans meticulously installed within the NVR unit. That will be an interesting and noteworthy consideration for me. In the comprehensive FAQs and numerous product reviews, the noticeable noise level generated by these integrated cooling fans was consistently criticized. I read that the fans run at a very high and very loud frequency. If in doubt, you can simply replace these fans. Because of the noise, this device is said to be unsuitable for use in the living room, or even in the bedroom. It's simply too loud. For me, that's not really relevant. The device is going into my server cabinet, so it doesn't bother me there. However, for a significant number of you, this could genuinely make a substantial and noticeable difference. I will now carefully set the device aside, placing it in a secure and convenient location, and then proceed to take out the hard drive. This essential hard drive was delivered exceptionally well packaged, arriving securely protected within its robust blister pack. It's a safe hard drive with standard connectors for power supply. And also the additional data cable. This hard drive will now be installed here, either on the left, in the middle, or on the right, because this device is capable of holding up to 3 hard drives at once. After opening the device and making some space, I can install the hard drive. Install it. The design calls for screwing the screws into the underside of the hard drive just a little bit, and then sliding the screws into the slots. I just tried that a moment ago. I have to say, it doesn't work. The openings on the back don't fit. They're at a different height, so I can't slide the hard drive through. So I'm going to carefully install the hard drive from above with its connectors facing the main circuit board. To accomplish this task, I will firmly hold the hard drive in its proper place and precisely position it so that I can clearly see all of the screw holes. Quite clearly. Then the 4 screws are carefully and firmly screwed into place, securing the hard drive within its designated bay. That's it already. The hard drive is now securely and stably installed within the NVR unit, ensuring its proper function and preventing any movement. At this point, it just needs to be properly connected to the system. To facilitate the connection of the hard drive, I will require 2 essential components: a dedicated power cable to supply the necessary electrical current, and a data cable, specifically a SATA data cable, to enable the transfer of information between the hard drive and the NVR's motherboard. The main power cable goes directly into the wider slot, and the essential data cable then goes into the narrower slot, ensuring a secure connection. If you don't have enough space, you can also connect the cables before installing the hard drive itself. There's a distinct marking or a small notch clearly visible on the cable itself. The corresponding counterpart is precisely located on the hard drive connector, ensuring a proper and secure alignment. It only fits in one specific direction. With a little gentle pressure, the cable can be securely plugged into the corresponding connector. It's precisely the same situation with the data cable as well. There's also a very small, distinct notch located here, which helps with proper alignment. You can see it here. This crucial notch is also present on the hard drive itself. This design ensures that you genuinely cannot plug it in the wrong way, preventing any potential damage. It is specifically engineered to function exclusively in one direction, guaranteeing a secure and proper connection. I have now successfully completed the process of connecting the hard drive. The cables for hard drives 2 and 3, which I don't need at the moment, I'll bundle together again. I'll tie them up again. After successfully completing all necessary internal adjustments and ensuring everything is securely in place, I can then proceed to carefully close the case of the device. Following this, the next crucial step involves meticulously setting up the newly prepared device onto the monitor, ensuring proper connectivity and optimal viewing for its intended use and functionality. The hard drive is installed in the NVR. I've successfully connected all the necessary cables on the back of the device for the ultimate power. The HDMI cable is connected to my monitor. I've successfully connected the computer mouse to the lower USB port located on the back of the device. The network cable is connected to my switch so that I can connect the NVR to my home network, so I can connect it. Now I can proceed with the initial setup. For this, I use my monitor and control the NVR with the included USB mouse. So that you can clearly see each step, I'll now switch the view to my screen. I start the device using the button on the back of the NVR. I have to say at this point, the noise from the two fans is quite noticeable. It's definitely audible. I wouldn't want to have this device in my living room and certainly not in my bedroom. Either you replace the built-in fans with quieter models, product link in the video description, or you install the device somewhere like I did, in a server cabinet, in the basement, where the noise doesn't bother anyone. The boot process of the RLN 36 takes about 20 to 30 seconds. After that, you operate the device using the included mouse, which I connected to the back of the unit. Unfortunately, using a different mouse or even a keyboard was not possible. It only works with the included mouse. The setup assistant starts automatically and begins with the basic settings. It starts with selecting the language. I set this to the language German. Next, I changed the screen resolution to a higher setting. This setting has no effect on the cameras. It is solely about the resolution that this NVR outputs to a connected monitor. Day, month, and year. I would like to keep this format as it is. The 24-hour time format also fits. I confirm this by clicking Next. The system time is automatically set to the Pacific time zone. Of course, that's incorrect in my case. I will change it to the specific time zone where I currently live. For example, if you are in Germany, you should carefully select the UTC+1 time zone option here. That is Amsterdam, Berlin, Paris, Rome. With the DST switch, you have the option to automatically adjust for daylight saving time and standard time. The 1 hour change can be applied directly using the presets stored in the assistant and adopted accordingly. The NVR can also automatically obtain the time from a time server. This means the NVR automatically gets the correct time from the internet, provided you allow the device through the firewall. The switch between daylight saving time and standard time is also handled automatically this way. By clicking Next, I proceed to the menu for setting up my initial account. The account name is preset as admin. This is a super account with all user rights that this NVR offers. At this point, I need to set a password using the mouse. When I click into the field, I can use the mouse and the on-screen keyboard to create a password and set it up. Only asterisks are displayed in the text. By clicking on the eye icon, I can display the password in plain text. Entering it with this mouse on the on-screen keyboard works. However, it is not very user-friendly. There could be a better solution for this. I will now enter my initial password and confirm it again below. The checkbox is specifically intended to protect the NVR from any unauthorized use by third parties. If the screen goes into sleep mode and is subsequently reactivated, the system will prompt for re-authentication. Password will be requested again each time, provided the checkbox is enabled. In the next step of the wizard, a security question for password recovery is set up. You enter a question in this field at the top. The answer to this particular question is to be entered in the field located directly below. If you have unfortunately lost your password and wish to reset it, then the system will show you your question. You will then need to carefully enter the specific answer that you previously set and established here, ensuring accuracy. A reset of the NVR to factory settings would, of course, also be possible. In that case, however, all data would be lost. The wizard now continues in the program and gives me the option to customize the NVR. NVR is already pre-filled and I can add to or change the name using the on-screen keyboard. Or modify it. My hard drive is also displayed to me. If I had installed a second or third hard drive, they would also be displayed here. If the hard drive has not yet been formatted, it will say 0 of 0 available here. In my case, an available capacity is already shown here because I had already formatted the hard drive. Had already formatted it. In your case, you click on Format. You will then get a warning that formatting will erase all data on the hard drive. Will be deleted. Now the system formats the hard drive so that it can be used by the NVR. This goes relatively quickly, even with a 40 byte hard drive. Out of my 4 TB, only 3096 GB are actually usable. I then click Next and proceed to enter the menu for network access. You can leave these two settings as they are by default. DHCP means that the NVR automatically receives its IP address from the network, that is, from your router or switch. The DNS is also set automatically by default. You can also change both settings to static. In that case, you would have to enter the IP addresses manually and configure your network accordingly. The final and very important point to consider is the valuable option to seamlessly add an email account. If the system, for instance, generates an important alarm notification, it possesses the capability to automatically and efficiently send it directly via email, ensuring prompt communication. Of course, you need an email account to do this. To set this up, you can use one of these 3 preset email providers or another account from a third-party provider. So if I have a Google Mail account, I enter the name of my Google account here. Here I enter a sender, and here the password for my Google account. This is where you enter the recipient's email address for the alarm email. Later you can configure the settings in the NVR and in the cameras so that an email is automatically sent in the event of an alarm. I don't use this option because I use the app on a smartphone. There I can receive a push notification in case of an alarm. At this point, the assistant is already finished and I end up on the main screen, where I will later see the images from my cameras. The Reolink NVR has detected and added 8 cameras from Reolink. However, I haven't yet entered the username and password for each camera. For this reason, an error is displayed here. The other cameras from TrendNet and Hikvision, which are also present in my network, are not detected automatically. I can change this later by activating the OnVIF protocol in the NVR's menu. Unfortunately, this function is not supported for all cameras. In general, Reolink operates very restrictively. With their own cameras, this system works perfectly, but with third-party cameras, it doesn't always work. I will now enable a camera so you can see how this works. The system automatically assumes that the camera was found via its IP. Here you see the IP address in my network, the port of the camera that transmits the image, and the name of the camera as I have already assigned it to the camera. Down here, the account name and password are requested. Admin is set as the default and can be changed here accordingly. I will now proceed to carefully enter the account name and the corresponding password for my camera, which is positioned at the front door, and then click OK. The system has automatically logged into the camera and now displays the live image directly within this application. Overview. I can now enter this information for each camera and store the corresponding password and store the login name. I would then have all the camera images here in this overview. However, this setting can also be made directly on the computer using the app with a proper keyboard. That is also my recommendation. Once the NVR has been set up, it can be accessed via the browser or the app on the computer or mobile phone. Setting it up there is much easier. You can find the links to the apps and the instructions below the video. In the description, you'll also find product links for the NVR and the most important accessories. If you want to buy an RLN 36, just take a look at the video description. There you'll find even more important tips. To wrap up, I'll quickly switch to the NVR settings by right-clicking and opening the menu. You can also manually start this menu using the menu button on the front of the device. With a click on Settings, you'll land in the settings overview that Reolink offers. As mentioned, you should later enter this data via the app. It's much easier there since you can use your computer's keyboard. With a click on System, I'm in the settings that I configured earlier in the Setup Assistant. You see, I could change the device name, the screen resolution, and the display settings. Entries I already made earlier. You can also adjust the time and language here. The Account Center. Here you have the option to add another account. You can also conveniently modify the admin default account settings here so that this particular account can be fully customized and managed according to your specific requirements. Security vulnerability disappears. In the management section, you have additional settings that I want to briefly explain to you. The first item is the automatic restart. This means that with the default setting, the NVR would automatically reboot every Sunday at 2 AM. Reboot. That actually makes sense for a server for it to automatically restart regularly. Restart. If the system has frozen, this process ensures a clean system. Don't worry, all your settings will be preserved. Of course, no camera recordings take place during the boot process. For this reason, the default setting of every Sunday at 2 a.m. should be adjusted individually, customized. After all, anyone who enters your property and sees the camera knows that on Sunday morning at 2:00 a.m. there will be no recordings for about 20 to 30 seconds. The upgrade section is somewhat poorly translated. Ultimately, it's actually an update. The system automatically checks whether there is new software, a new firmware for the NVR recorder available. You can also set this individually for the cameras. You can also manually check for new firmware. You can manually start the automatic update as well. You can also download the updates from the website and install them manually. This way you can keep the RLN36 up to date. With Restore, you reset the NVR to factory settings. This makes sense if you've made changes and can no longer undo them or revert them. To reset, click on Restore. The system will warn you that all data will be deleted during the restoration. If you check this box, at least the network settings will be saved. That way, you won't have to re-register the cameras. If I were to click Next now, the system would be reset to factory settings. It would be restored to its original state. For example, I did this before making this video so that I could show you how the assistant works. So what's my conclusion? You should plan about 10 to 15 minutes for installing the hard drive. All in all, by buying the hard drive separately, I saved over 100 euros compared to buying the complete system. That's definitely a significant plus point. Setting up the cameras that are already connected and active on the network is indeed really quite easy and straightforward. The NVR detects the cameras automatically. Setting up the cameras with just this mouse and without a keyboard is, in this day and age, absolutely no longer suitable. It does work, but it also means that the device always has to be set up near a monitor, which is required for configuration. The NVR can't just be placed somewhere in a server rack and then activated and installed remotely over the network. Unfortunately, that's not possible. All in all though, I'm still satisfied. I'll take a close look at the first recordings for a while and review them. But I was already able to try out accessing the cameras and the video data. It's noticeably faster than before when I accessed the SD cards in the individual cameras over the network. What I really don't like at all is the noise level.